Love you, Einstein. He hangs dong.
He hangs a dong.
Einstein totally hangs dong.
Yeah.
And with that...
He does! So cute!
Welcome to this recent episode of Back Alley Reviews. I'm your host, Jacob, and my other host.
Hello, it is I, Aaron. I've been here a couple times.
Yeah, but now we have two more people.
I'm Rosie. You would have seen us if you've watched the podcast. My name's Rosie.
Lobby Snacks, please.
Lobby Snacks.
Brent.
He's my boyfriend.
Yes.
That's his role.
I'm Katie.
And
I'm
Katie.
still here.
We just watched Oppenheimer,
Yeah.
part of our Barbie double feature.
The Barbenheimer double feature.
And we started with Oppenheimer. We'll see how that affects our mental state. 2
I
to
think
3
we're
days.
a little bit low energy right now. I wonder how we're going to be different after Barbie.
Oh.
Yeah, I expect very, very different. To start things off, spoiler-free review.
Yep.
That was fucking great. If you are a Nolan fan, 100%, it is worth your time. It is worth the money.
Rosie, you have always been critical of Christopher Nolan, but
Don't say that. I'm not allowed to say that on the internet.
You still like him.
Of course. Okay, so my opinion of Nolan. Hi, I am a certified Nolan hater since I grew up. Anyway, so I have seen a lot of Christopher Nolan and I enjoy his movies. I will rewatch his movies. I don't vehemently hate the man or the movies, and there's always merit to them, but I have my gripes. And all of his movies, the female characters are incredibly weak. The writing is just a little bit flat, and it's exposition city, you know what I mean? And I'm also like a writing background, so I love it in movies when it's you show and you don't tell. Like say for Interstellar, The Beloved. I'm not going to go too hard on it because of course it's great. The cinematography, the acting, like everything. The plot is really interesting. All the science, I love it. I'm a big science nerd. However, when it comes
talk
to
a lot.
it's so much talking about like here's the scientific theory and here's this, and love transcends time and space, and it's like, okay, we gathered that. Why did Anne Hathaway have to say that to me? And when it comes to Nolan, I really did like Dunkirk as well, and it's funny because Dunkirk has almost no words. So like his script is kind of, but his historical films are really solid, very impactful, and like his cinematography and the audio that he does and the soundtrack, like everything that is good about his films really comes to a head when he does historical.
Now this is his magnum opus. This is his crown.
It's
He put everything that he knew to put together. The cinematography A+, the acting A+, the writing improved.
Yes. And I think it also had to do with the actresses that were in it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They were fantastic. Emily Blunt and Florence Pugh,
Yeah.
marry me both.
Yes. Especially like Florence Pugh, always amazing, and she did amazing conveying everything. I was really surprised with Emily Blunt, and I have nothing against Emily Blunt,
I love
but
Emily Blunt. I think
but
she's
like
amazing.
she grabbed the balls.
Fucking killed it.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Killed it.
I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty good. Some of the weirdness, I have liked Nolan movies. It took me like a year to get her to watch
He
Tenet.
made me watch
Right.
Tenet like
Yeah.
last month, and I was like, we had to
And,
watch it in shifts.
I do kind of agree with her that a lot of the times the story's like a little spelled out.
Yeah.
I would say that they didn't do this one so much. It actually goes really quick. And
The pacing.
The
It's
pacing
just-
was really quick.
it goes really quick.
Yeah, 3 hours. But the only reason I felt it is because like at about like hour 2, I was like, I need to piss.
No,
I
you
will miss
can't.
so much if I go.
It's more visual
Yeah.
with the way that it's described.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I
And
do
they-
think you have to really pay attention to like some of the characters and stuff.
Very
too.
much.
Just
Mhm.
wait
Yes.
for a little bit.
Mhm.
You'll
You'll
miss
miss some big important thing.
Yeah, there's so many, but they all have so much to do, even if they're on the screen for like a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's you definitely do have to pay attention. There is a lot of time skipping to kind of tell the story of Oppenheimer back and forth. For a while, I didn't know which hearing was first in the timeline.
Yes.
Yeah, it was-
you had to really take a listen to that stuff.
Yeah, it's like normally when like, you know, a movie like keeps going back and forth between like, you know, past, present, future, like 3 different timelines. It's like I need to watch this again so that like I kind of understand what's happening.
Yeah.
But like 75% of the way through, it was like,
Oh yeah, you get
I
it.
get it.
Yes.
I want to watch it again, but I don't have to.
Yeah, let's just cut to the spoilers.
I think that
They dropped a bomb.
The bomb drop scene.
So
The troll Trinity test thing. My heart was out of my chest.
I know, and
as soon as like they started the countdown, like I legit I changed my posture. I leaned back and I'm like,
oh god,
this is gonna fuck me up.
Yeah.
And then just the bright light first, and the score was amazing. But what really fucked me up is when it's like no sound, just silence, and
too, when he was
which was
at it.
so
Everything was good.
really very
Yeah.
real. And
Everybody was silent.
yes,
Yeah, the whole theater. It was
amazing.
and we're all
Hear a
impending
pin
the
drop.
It
the
was
sound.
amazing.
I was like, holy.
Popcorn, no one was like taking it like silent, and I was just like waiting.
It was so real the way it was also like it felt too long, which it does in an explosion, especially if you're that far away and you see it first, you don't feel it, and it would be silent.
Yeah, and that's the thing that has always sort of fucked me up is because it's the sense of scale, right? You see the Tower of Fire and the smoke, the mushroom cloud, and it's like this is super nerdy. If you've seen Fallout, the fucking the Vault Boy doing that's because if the mushroom cloud is bigger than your thumb, you're dead. Yeah, they are miles away. Miles.
Ricochets back and forth as well off of the mountains and the structures, and it would just be insane.
Yeah.
All caused by Josh Peck.
I thought it was really interesting because the way that they differentiated, if it was the future interview, because the whole movie is structured it starts off with them doing in the future broadcast TV, an interview before Congress, and basically everything in the future is in black and white, which is funny because it's always backwards, but because when it was present it was in color.
Yeah, but I love how
that's how humans see. I thought it was
yes,
funny.
I love how it contrasts the whole thing of dropping the bomb was they're creating a new world, it's totally brand new, and so in this new world everything is in that high contrast, black and white, bright, almost blown out, overexposed footage of what you'd see right when a bomb drops. So it was really, I liked that.
Yeah.
You can think of it the opposite way.
The other thing about the future being in black and white is because the thing that I found was that makes sense, is because all of the things that were happening in the future in black and white was public record.
Yeah.
So that was everything that was photographed. That was everything that was filmed and recorded.
That reminds me. There's that one part where Killian is giving that speech in front of everybody, and it sounds like a fucking recording that Oppenheimer actually said.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell because Killian also, by the way, sounded just like Robin Williams.
What I thought was the best sound decision in the film was you kept hearing the bleachers, but we didn't know what that was quite yet, and that's almost as scary as the Trinity scene.
Yeah,
was the whole bleachers, and he starts seeing everyone's faces melted off, and
I know.
so good.
Yeah, just because also, and again, this is if you are going into this thinking that it is about leading up to the bomb, and then it's the bomb, it was made. No, it's about the dude's mental state going, fuck.
Yeah.
I've created the single greatest weapon in history.
And then the whole last hour is a courtroom drama.
Yeah.
Sometimes I found, and I've seen this online as well, they could have showed a little bit more, but at the same time, it's kind of
with courtroom dramas, though, you sometimes have to
say
that's
don't
the
show.
One case where exposition is totally okay.
Yeah, because that comes with the genre.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's his going to school sequence. They had some cool
Yeah.
visuals.
Yeah.
Some good sound,
Yeah.
When he's picturing the other world in a wormhole.
Yeah.
It's I bet you that's how.
Unstable there too.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Yeah.
Through the
I feel so
visuals.
sad.
Matt Damon also had a phenomenal performance.
Oh
I have to
my
put
God.
yes.
Yeah.
Fuck Jimmy Kimmel.
To also real quick talk about the writing, they were this movie was savage.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god!
They were Shakespearean insults.
I also like the decision because his most famous line is "I am death, destroyer of worlds," and the first time we hear that is looking at Florence
when
Pugh's
he's getting-
boobs.
when his dick is going insane.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I like how that kind of makes it seem like that line from him is kind of self-indulgent, making himself really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you hear it again after the bomb, and that was holy.
And it's
fuck.
there is still a level of self-indulgence, but it's no, this is it's it's like what Matt Damon's character says. You're not just self-important, you are important.
Yeah.
And that's him recognizing, we all have collectively fucked up. Funnily enough, the whole thing of show don't tell was they were talking about the aftermath and the bodies, and you don't see that.
You just see Killian's face.
And the people around him just being like, oh.
Yeah.
And they don't even go into explicit detail. They just say people wearing patterned shirts were found with burns in the pattern on their body.
After he's giving that speech in the rally and he starts leaving and having anxiety and like freaking out, he sees like the woman like screaming, crying, and like the other person's face melts off. He like steps on one of those bodies. And
Roderick
it's
is
just,
throwing up.
That's like the one glimpse that you get. Roderick. That's the one glimpse that you get into the actual like horror.
And you didn't need to see it. We didn't need to see
you just needed those
that,
tiny little like nightmare scenarios, because that's what Americans, and especially like Oppenheimer and the military who were involved in the Manhattan Project, that's all they were exposed to. They weren't on the ground.
No.
They don't know.
They never experienced it. They can just imagine.
They saw glimpses of pictures. Like Oppenheimer was able to close his eyes and look away on the screen when we were being described they were being shown. And so we're kind of like seeing it from Oppenheimer. Like he only gets glimpses in his mind from the memories that he has of seeing the pictures.
Let's give our quick out of the theater scores that are subject to change.
Yeah, subject to change, I would say, oh man, definitely.
How'd you score it?
Yeah, I'd say definitely like 9.6. Like just holy shit. Like the problem is I don't exactly know what would make it better. Like because the runtime was long, but again, I didn't feel it.
I'm going to give it just a solid 9 for now. It could be a 10. It could be a 9.1. We'll find out. But I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see it again. And with captions, because I'm a caption bitch. But I
think it's tough because it's hard to, like, I want to think about, like, what would I improve? Because it was really solid and, like, very impactful. The first score that came to my head was, like, an 8.5. Because it wasn't the best, like, most gripping depiction, but it was really fucking good. I don't know. See, that's what I'm gonna think more on it.
I would say, in terms of like a historical movie that's good, I'd give it a 10. I'd say, but in terms of like an overall like movie going experience, I'd say probably an 8.5, something like that.
Yeah. See, that's
Just
like
because
whole movie going experience. Like if I watch it at home, I'll probably have a different feeling.
Like you don't want to watch it on a day of, I'm super fucking happy. Let's ruin it with Oppenheimer versus I'm very depressed.
Yeah.
Let's not watch it because I don't want to be more depressed. Like it's a very specific mood,
But if I just watched a World War II documentary, it'd be a 10 for sure.
yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. Very gripping. Like even though it's really long and it's a lot of talking, it was like you couldn't look away.
Yeah.
Like we were saying before.
And I like how they basically make everybody, even Oppenheimer, pretty morally ambiguous as to like if they're a good person or a bad person.
Yeah.
Overall. It's kind of just like,
And I think it was brilliant to not build the movie up to the bomb, but to the conversation with Albert Einstein, which is a scene stealer. That was.
It was really good.
Love you, Einstein. He hangs dong.
He hangs a dong.
Einstein totally hangs dong.
Yeah.
And with that,
He does! So cute!
I think we're gonna end it there on Einstein hangs dong. Great movie.
The 10 on Einstein's dong. 10 dongs out of 10.
Movie a solid 7. The bomb a solid 8.
Einstein's
Einstein
dong.
11
I
out
think
of
it's
10.
10.